The rails that I took off, I've got them hooked back up. Now all the batteries are working. Now I don't want to turn this on and off because it surges like crazy. Now I'm already at the upper limits. Can you see that? That says 4 amps on the dial at 27. So I got 27 volts coming out, but I've got 12.623, and it's just, guys, it's just been hanging there forever. So that was good news I wanted to share with you. I'll have to calculate how many hours it's going to run between 10%, like 1260 to 1250, and then I'll come back and report. But you know, it's been going down a couple of points in a half hour, or a point in a half hour. Here's what's happening though that's kind of puzzling. I've got all this watts going from this 4 battery pack here with the booster sitting on it, going over to these double 4 battery pack, and then back around to this booster. And by the way, when you turn on this system, these amp meters peg over. That amp meter pegs over. And then my cheap ass inverter really made me angry because it fried, and then it burned out my boost converter fuses. Those cheap ones just can't take it. It really ticked me off good. I had a dead short. And here's a lot nicer one. It cost me a few more to start up and run. But here's the bottom line. Well, that's not really, because this you would think is the bottom line. So what I used to do with conventional thinking, you got to understand, we got to break away from our conventional thinking. I thought, wow, look at all the amps. There, that's too much. It's all those amps are going over there. And then this is all I'm using. So that don't make sense, right? Wrong. Because this is the way the system is designed. This is the way it was explored by Turion. And you'll see the orange wire here. See the orange wire, not red? That's the boost hooks here. Now, if the motor is getting rewound, I'm still working on the motor. It's right here, and I'm cleaning off all the jagged edges. Oh my God, there is such razor sharp edges all over this sucker. So I'm taking a small triangular file and I'm pulling it this way and patting it good, and I'm going to put some tape or something on there, real thin tape, paper tape, and try to protect that winding. I didn't realize how sharp it really was. But anyways, back to the inverter experiment. This is the motor, and the motor experiment would take this out and put the motor in its place, like we saw on the board there. See the board? We got an inverter and 2 boosters is what we got. Can you see that? Remember? The inverter is powering a light. I didn't write the light in there. But you have the 2 batteries, but then that's the hookup. And you can go to the energetic forum and see the better diagrams. But this is what I wanted you to see. I said in previous video that this converter did not have the balls to hold them batteries up, and that was a lie. That's not true. It could hold it up. I just didn't like the idea of it being like 4 and 5 amps. That was blowing my mind. But then I decided to undo the bulb. Now here's the bulb, watch. Just the inverter running. See it go way down? So now it's not pumping but 2. And over here we're only running, on the input we're running 3/4 of an amp. Or that's actually about a half amp. But then it goes over here and steps it up, so you need double the amps to get twice the voltage on this pack over here, if you follow me. So I don't know, I guess I just got brain freeze thinking, wow, that's too many amps, you know. And so what's happening is that when I turn the inverter off altogether, now watch. See? It's just barely keeping the batteries afloat. Well, in this case, it's keeping the converter running. Now, if I unhook that completely, let me unhook the green wire here. Now watch the amps. See it drop way down? Drop way down to like just keeping the batteries floating is what it's doing at 27 volts. So there's power being drawn out of this pack, the charge pack, and being put over here and to maintain that 27 volts, right? So now we're going to start it back up without the green wire, because that's a little easier on it on surges. Watch this needle peg. See it for a second? And the other one locked up. It can't take it. So I need to come up with transformers or some kind of surge protection. My gosh, I'm going to burn up everything I have turning it on and off. It just goes bing. And I need some soft start suppression or something. Okay, now that's just idling along. Here's the circuit, the inverter idling along with no bulb screwed in. And now I'm going to turn the booster on too. Here it comes. Now watch the needle pin again. See that? See, every time I touch it to it, see it go over, but it's not that far. Now watch me when I screw the bulb in. Look at all the... See it? That wasn't so bad. So you see the initial startup is where those converters will really take a beating. And there has to be some form of soft starting mechanism if you want to keep your semiconductors. But was my dilemma. I'm thinking booster to booster, right? That's 85% efficient. Those boosters are sucking up 85% and giving it to the battery and burning off 15%. Because that's at the upper limits. That is the upper limit of the booster. Now, I would say if it was like 1 or 2 amps, you know, it might be 90% efficient, maybe. And so selecting our booster efficiency is very important. And that's what was said. Be careful, you know, which booster that you pick, because then this is going to go down quicker. And that's the goal. I've never done this before. This is my first time. I don't have it at 20 volts anymore, 24 volts. I have it set at 27.1, and that's where it's going to stay. And it's drawing a lot of amps because it's recirculating amps. That's what I realized. I'm a slow learner some days. So it goes around in there and goes through the booster here, and then back to the inverter, and then through the inverter to the charge battery, and then through the booster and back around to the run batteries, excuse me, and then to the booster here again, and then back around to the inverter, and then back to the charge battery, and then through the booster and back to the run battery. See? And I'm thinking, that's too many amps. With all that amps burning, something can't be right. So I kept dialing it down, not thinking, you know. I was thinking, I'm having a hard time keeping this up here. But yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's the way it responds better. You want to keep your batteries charged up. So that was awesome to me, seeing the battery stay floated way up there. That's what I like. That's what I want to see. My batteries stay charged, not half dead all the time. So thought you guys might like to see that I am running it, and that my other little cheapo inverter did burn out. So this is all I have. Now I have a 3,000, 6,000 watt inverter. I wonder if one of them would work better, but for such a small system. So now we're at 61 with all the start and stop and start and stop and all the flickers and the surges. So we're at 61. volts. So I'm going to start the clock here coming up and see how long it takes to go down to 51 under load, or 50, and then I'll start counting again. Okay, that's it, you guys. Up till now I have not seen any results with the motor because my motor was shorted, and I did not see any results that were superior results than just what would come out of a normal battery for watt hours, because I didn't really have my settings properly, and now for the first time I've got them. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if that just hangs there for a long time. Now another thing that was stated was your different inverters are better. Some are better than others, and you don't know which one is going to respond better and work better. And I have some reading to do on it to see what may or may not have been found out. You see that went up? That was 61, and I thought it was going to go to 60, and now it's going up to 62. So I don't know what the hell. But anyways, thanks for watching.